to our tutorial of performance tips. Got this nice little outfit here, my ski mask, my face mask, my neck warmer, my hat, the whole nine. Just because I want to do something different, because when you're performing and you got everybody looking at you, it could be nerve-wracking. The key to it is just to not care what people think. So for me, my way of doing that is recording the video this way with my outfit and my paraphernalia on, as if I was about to go hockey, which is actually what I use to go buy groceries down the street. Now, with that said, I want to get on to my performance tips. Just to demonstrate that I don't care what people think. Part of this tutorial is going to involve you roasting me. Just to give you the context of it, I was invited to perform in a university setting, and I was asked to write a poem about the plight of refugees, the plight of indigenous people, and the roles that the Canadian government has played in creating, pain in a lot of our communities. I had to present it at this conference, and so I wrote the poem. The poem is fire, but my delivery was terrible. With that said, I have a delivery of that same performance, absolutely crushing it, high energy, and you'll see the difference. So what I want to start this session with, before I introduce all my amazing homies, is just show you a clip of this performance, just like 30 seconds. And then I want you to write down what you think sucked about it. But most importantly, it's how I started. I'll then show you the growth. Canadians go camping to pass the time in the summer, but refugees are biding their time in camps, and those tents have a very different meaning when what's left of your life has become so demeaning that all of your possessions can be stored within. An orphan from Mogadishu seeking refuge in Yemen goes through hell in the Gulf of Aden to get in. No free Canadian healthcare waiting on him. And those camps are no fun in the summer. And so I'm reading it, but I'm not reading it with the power and the authority that I should have been, because I firmly believe in what I'm saying. And those are going to be key tips that you're going to hear from my people, is make sure you feel passionate about what you're saying. So I felt passion, but that passion didn't translate on stage. I was very quiet, timid, slow. I could have picked it up a little bit. Don't go too fast, but don't go too slow either. So yeah, sometimes when you read, it can take the energy away. So the next clip I show you will be of me also reading the poem, but high energy. I was very shy, I was very nervous. And I can tell you I was nervous because I'm the person that was performing it. I was nervous, I felt intimidated by the crowd. I forgot my bearings, I forgot who I was. Here is a clip of me crushing it. Canadians go camping to pass the time in the summer, but refugees are biding their time in camps through the summer, and those tents have a very different meaning when what's left of your life has become so demeaning that all of your possessions can be stored within. An orphan from Mogadishu seeking refuge in Yemen goes through hell and the Gulf of Aden to get in. No free Canadian healthcare waiting on him, and those camps are no fun in the summer. Now for this one, I want you to write down what you felt the difference was. What did you like more about the second performance than the first one? I feel way more comfortable the second time I read it, which is one of my key points to performing, is make sure you know your poem inside out. Read it 100 times. Yes, 100 times. Read it and read it and read it until the poem lives inside of you. And you wrote it for a reason, and you're sharing it for a reason. And let that come out. But just be extremely comfortable with your work, y'all. You gotta just do it over and over and over. Practice makes perfect. For this tutorial, I assembled a cast of extremely talented spoken word artists, poets, slam poets, my homegirl, my sister for life, Amoya Ray, one of my favorite spoken word artists in the country, is gonna bless us with some advice, and we'll see a glimpse of her poetry. My brother Luke Reese, we did a team piece together called Redwoods. Excellent theater background major, just phenomenal human being. Got some tips for you. And my sister, Lady Vanessa, all the way from Cali, Colombia, y'all, recorded some tips for y'all. And really, this one is not really to write down anything. I mean, I'll provide you a slide with the summary points. Just enjoy the videos and enjoy the poetry. And most importantly, write your own and get out there and share your voice. Your voice matters. Who cares what people think? You know what I'm saying? Who cares what people think, son? West Side?
I am Amoya Ray. I am a spoken word artist and performance poet who originally hails from the beautiful island of Jamaica, but now resides on lands that is part of treaty lands and territories of the Mississaugas of the Credits, colonially known as Region of Peel. So one of the things I love about being a poet is being able to perform and connect with an audience. Here's how I do it, especially when I'm nervous. I pick 3 random points in the room, whether that be a pole in the back, someone's blue purse down in front, or something else on the right that catches my eye. I pick 3 points, and throughout my performance, I make sure that I'm rotating my glance to meet those 3 focal points. The audience thinks that I'm just engaging and looking at them while I'm speaking, when really I'm paying attention to the 3 focal points. But don't tell them, that's our little secret.
One of my favorite places to shop is the dollar store. I mean, who doesn't love a good dollar store? A place where you can find anything from socks to cotton pads to pregnancy tests, oven mitts, gift bags, and strange men who question your genetic history as they hit on you. It's great. But for the record, when you say how you doing and I respond fine and turn away, that usually indicates that the conversation is over. I did not follow up with an "and you," which means I have no interest whatsoever in your well-being, as I am too busy trying to figure out where they put those compost bags again.
Hey, what's up? My name is Luke Reese. I am a spoken word poet from Toronto, the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, Petun, Anishinaabe, and Mississaugas of the Credit. And one thing that I always remind myself before I go on the stage is why I wrote that poem. What had just happened in my life, what had inspired me to create it, what kind of energy was I in, and remember what that drive is for the piece right before you go on stage, and let that drive, let the reason for you writing it carry you through the piece. Let it be the voice of that piece. Some of the pieces that I have actually come out like different characters, because maybe they were a few years ago and I was, really upset about something that now I don't really feel the same way about, but I have to remind myself what it was like then in order to give the poem the performance it deserves. Also great to, if you can, do some hand motions. Not just like blind hand motions, but really thoughtful hand motions, whether there's an image that you want to get across, whether you're painting a picture somewhere, whether you're setting a scene, if it's a poem about you maybe confronting somebody, where is that person? Maybe we see them there, and then there's some direction here and there's direction to the audience, right? So think about how you can animate this space for your piece.
Because it takes a very special person to pour themselves into one bowl, to use just one spoon, and to give the rest of their milk to somebody who might need to feed their kids one day. I was cuckoo for cocoa for you! I was your little Reese Puff. And for the longest time I could not let go of what we had, and when I finally said toucan, play at this game, and clogged my time up with different things to cheerio me up, I kept breaking my fast. Because no matter how bad you were for me, no matter how bad your sweet, sugary taste was for my smile, I thought you were magically delicious.
Hey. Buenos dias, all the way from the South Cali, Colombia. My name is Lady Vanessa, aka La Dragona. When you get up on stage, remember why you wrote your poem. There was a voice that told you, there was your being that told you, hey, you need to create something, and you need to create something for people to hear it. And remember that when you are saying something out there, is because someone in that audience needs to hear it. So when you say it with that conviction. Second thing is remembering how you felt. And if you can't remember how you felt then how do you feel now saying it? All right. And when you have names, for example, I have a poem about my mother. And no matter where I'm at in my relationship with my mother, I remember that, and I take that truth and I transmit it out. And I think that that's important because some people might not actually be able to understand even language, but they can sense energy. And if you can transmit that energy, that is so important. Do not apologize, all right? You are giving a gift to the audience. Some people do not even have the courage that you have to get up on stage. So do not apologize. And when you make a mistake, sometimes that is not a mistake. Sometimes that was actually your being. Sometimes that was actually the ancestors just telling you, you need to forget that so that you can say something else, so that you can figure this out. Because being on stage is like playing. So just think of it as that. You're playing with words, you're playing with yourself, you're playing with the audience. That's what you're doing. It's not that big of a deal. Do not apologize. Your beginning and your end are so important. That is the first impression and that is the last impression that you are going to give your audience. And when you first start it, give yourself that time. Align yourself. And the same thing with the end. You know, Brother Spin talks about affirmations. This is what you're doing. Affirm your last word. So that's what I have for y'all. And yeah, greetings all the way from the south, La Madre Tierra. Mwah. Ciao, primos, cousins.
Whenever I open my mouth, my tongue discreetly reveals itself as different, mismatched, subtle faint accent waiting to awaken from its coma. Whenever I open my mouth, often a very similar question is asked. Where are you from? My answer is often very simple. Colombia. Cali, Colombia, mi tierra de mi corazón. Cali, bella, Cali, pachanguero. But Colombia is a title given by men in the flesh. I come from dirt. Roots of warrior indigenous ancestors, yo soy un ser de luz. Where I come from is too ancient, too benevolent. Where I come from does not tell you where I belong. Where I come from holds no meaning if I do not tell you where I've been. My belly button connected by an umbilical cord inside my mother's womb, where my fingers have followed the rhythm of a clave. My toes have felt the vibrations of my illiterate grandmother's laughter past my mother's belly. My heart has felt the anxiety of a poor mother selflessly allowing life to burst out of her with full faith that her daughter would be alright.
Alright, yo, that's it, man. You got my homies. Lady Vanessa, Canadian Individual Poetry Slam National Champion. You got Luke Reese, my teammate and fellow Toronto Poetry Slam Grand Slam Champion and Canadian Festival of Spoken Word National Slam Poetry Champion. And you have the Immaculate Amoya Ray, also Canadian Festival of Spoken Word National Slam Poetry Champion. You got champs letting y'all know performance tips. Enjoy it, get to writing, get to performing. Hit me up, onemic.educators on Instagram. I'm out, son!